I don't know if you all have felt it yet, but this week changed everything. This week we were introduced to the ChatGPT AI bot, and it's free for everyone to use. You can find it in the link in the doohickey down below me. This AI bot has so many applications that it is mind-boggling to even contemplate it. But today I wanted to focus in on ways that we can use the bot to help us run our TTRPG games. And this may be a multi-part series as I fully wrap my head around what is possible here. Today we'll start with how to use it as a GM companion to help you generate stories and characters. And disclaimer here, there are some ethical concerns about using AI bots, especially for creative purposes, so please proceed according to your own views. The bot itself will sometimes balk at doing some creative work, but let me show you how you can get started and why you might want this to be your companion while you game master. So I can't wait any longer, let's jump right into ChatGPT. Before we jump into the magic of technology though, let me tell you about the magic of magic, because Series 2 of the animated spell cards from Hit Point Press, our sponsor, is out right now. You can pick up decks of 5e spells for level 6 to 9, as well as conditions, illusions, townsfolk, and more. Each card is tarot sized, has 8 frames of lenticular animation on one side, all the spell details you need on the other, and they're water and beer proof, perfect for the gaming table and great stocking stuffers. Pick up individual decks or save on multiple decks by grabbing a bundle. If you're ready to take your spell casting to the next level, check out our links down below or visit animatedspells.com. First of all, to get started, just visit the link down below the video, set up an account, which is free, and then you're ready to get started. You can talk to the bot just like you would talk to a person, and it works in a browser on your computer or on your mobile device. So let's say that we're visiting a D&D town and your party walks into a tavern. Let's say it's in the Docks Ward of Waterdeep. You don't have this particular tavern prepped and you want some quick ideas. Ask the chatbot for some help. You can feed it as much information as you like to get more specific results. I'll just say that it's a rundown tavern in the Docks Ward of Waterdeep and I want some NPCs. And here is what it generated for me. I'll let you look through that, but it gave us Lyrian the barmaid, Gimble the bartender, Marta the cook, Gareth the sailor, and Torm the dockworker. And they all have appropriate descriptions and personalities. You have workers, you have patrons, and they all feel like they fit in this tavern. Let's say your party goes up to chat with Gareth the sailor, who likes to tell stories to patrons and who may have a bit of a shady past. I don't know about you, but I want to learn more about him, so I'll ask the bot to generate a backstory for him. Gareth was born and raised in a small fishing village on the Sword Coast. From a young age, he knew he wanted to see the world and set off to sea as soon as he was old enough. He quickly proved himself to be a skilled sailor and was soon given his own ship. For many years, Gareth sailed the high seas, trading goods and engaging in the occasional bit of piracy. He became known as a cunning and ruthless captain, feared by his enemies and respected by his crew. Over time, Gareth grew tired of the pirate's life and decided to settle down in Waterdeep. He bought a small tavern in the Docks Ward and now spends his days regaling the other patrons with tales of his adventures. Despite his fearsome reputation, Gareth is a fair and just owner, and the tavern is known as a safe haven for those in need. It's just so good, and I hadn't considered that he might be the actual owner of the tavern. Is your mind blown as much as my mind is about what this can generate? So now as we go through, I'm going to show you the prompts that I gave the AI and the responses it gave back to me. I'll read you snippets from them, but otherwise, if you want to read more, just pause the video to look at those full responses. Okay, so let's say the PCs really take an interest in Gareth's old ship from his past, so we quickly need a crew for it. One thing I've noticed is that if you ask questions like, who are the members of his family, it'll basically leave it up to you. If you want it to generate something for you, you need to ask it to do so. So let's generate that crew. Here is a possible crew for Gareth's ship. I'll just read one of them for folks who may be listening to this video rather than watching it. Gendry the Quartermaster, a halfling man who is responsible for managing the ship's supplies and provisions. He is a shrewd businessman and has a keen eye for making a profit. He is also a skilled navigator and often serves as the ship's helmsman. The bot remembers everything you've told it and that it's generated in a single session. So let's go a little bit deeper here. Let's say that the PCs are really connecting with Gareth and you want to offer them a quest. So I'll ask the bot to generate a quest for me. Gareth has heard rumors of a valuable treasure hidden on a remote island in the Sea of Swords. He believes that the treasure could be the key to his retirement and is willing to give up a share of his profits to anyone who can help him find it. However, the island is said to be guarded by dangerous monsters and treacherous weather, and only the bravest and most skilled adventurers will be able to survive the journey. The adventurers must gather information and supplies, assemble a crew, and set sail for the island. Along the way, they will face challenges such as storms, pirates, and sea monsters. Once they reach the island, they will have to explore its dangerous ruins, overcome deadly traps and puzzles, and fight powerful guardians to reclaim or to claim the treasure. If the adventurers are successful, they would be rewarded with their share of the treasure and the gratitude of Gareth, but if they fail, they may be stranded on the island or lost at sea, never to be seen again. That's pretty good, right? Maybe you need a stat block for Gareth. All you have to do is ask. You can see how that you can just use this bot at every turn to help you generate some ideas. You can also more fully flesh out the tavern by asking for a menu, or maybe if your rogue is sneaking around, you can generate a hidden room in the tavern. I was particularly impressed by this. It is certainly, the bot is, somewhat limited in its creativity, and it's not necessarily going to blow you away with something completely out of left field, and it's probably not going to generate your next great adventure in full detail, but when it comes to filling out the background and sparking your own imagination, it is pretty great. Now, you can just take a step back and ask it to generate the tavern in general instead of the NPCs in it. So let's change it up and ask about a tavern in Silverymoon. And here's the response we get, a lovely place called the Silver Unicorn Tavern, with this absolutely beautiful and lovely tavern keep Gwen. But let's throw a monkey wrench of our own into this quaint little bar. You can give the bot your own ideas and work with it to create a story. Gwen is secretly a doppelganger. Now let's get a backstory for her. Okay, she's an evil one, trying to steal some sort of artifact to throw the town into chaos. All right, so why don't we give her an equally evil ally? And here the bot gives us a drow rogue named Vara, a master of poisons and manipulation. Okay, so let's tell the bot what this artifact actually is. Let's say that it allows its owner to read minds, and is located in the prison in the center of town. What evil scheme might Vara and Gwen come up with to steal it? And there we go, a pretty straightforward and well-crafted plan that uses both NPC strengths. The story keeps mentioning Gwen's followers here, so let's generate those as well. It took me way longer to make this video than I intended because I kept getting caught up in these stories and I wanted to keep going deeper and deeper with the follow-up questions. I've only spent like half a day with the system so far, and I am sure there is so much more to explore. And it is not limited to D&D. It has a limited knowledge of Pathfinder as well. Let's ask it to quickly generate a clockwork workshop in the city of Alkenstar in Pathfinder. And here we go. Again, pause to read if you like. We get an entire cool workshop. And we can again generate a list of NPCs and then get their backstories. We can generate enemies for them, family members, pets. We can even have it generate a deity for them to worship, whatever you like. Maybe we want something to happen when the characters walk in. We can ask it to generate an event that might occur there. And here you go. As you might expect, a malfunction with a clockwork creation. As it's being tested, it breaks down and begins to smoke and spark, and then the workers have to come in and take care of it. Maybe we want a little interpersonal conflict to break out in the workshop, so we'll ask for some. It uses the characters we've already created and generates a conflict between Garen the owner and Tessa the engineer, who isn't feeling particularly appreciated. One thing that you'll notice about the bot is that it is more or less relentlessly optimistic, so most things end up having a pretty happy ending, which I'm fine with. If you wanted to generate some quite dark stories, it might resist you a little bit, but you can also feed it specific information about a character you have some ideas for and ask it to write a more fully fleshed out backstory for that character given the inputs you provide it. So for example, I'll feed it some information about a frost giant ship captain with one arm, a magic talisman, and a penchant for raiding and collecting trophies. The result doesn't give us a ton of new information, but it takes what we gave it and gives us a nice story. And it gives her a name, Captain Frostfang. Of course, you can also go as deep as you want. Maybe you want to generate a rival sibling for her, so I'll ask for one of those. And we get Jarl Frostbeard, who grew up in a wealthy tribe and who harbors a ton of jealousy about Frostfang's success. Maybe we want a lair for her, so we'll just ask for one of those. We get a cold mountainous cave guarded by wargs with her ship, the Ice Reaver, moored in the back. We can ask for some minions that she keeps around, and we get her wargs, and we get her ship's crew, and get some ice troll mercenaries. It is all consistent and setting appropriate. I had it generate a cult in Bryn Shander that's trying to resurrect a lich. Then I had it generate a hero who was trying to infiltrate the cult, and then I asked for a physical description of the frozen lich itself. And finally, I wanted a stat block for both the hero Gareth and the frozen lich itself. Now, I haven't had time to do the math to ensure that the stat block is balanced and designed correctly, but at first glance, it looks pretty good. I'll go through it more closely later on, but let me know what you think of it in the comments section down below. The bot is pretty also dang good at coming up with names, as you can see here. I mean, we can sit here all day and generate stories and characters and locations. It is addictive. Let me promise you that. There are, of course, a lot of limitations to the platform right now. While you can ask it follow-up questions in a single session, it doesn't remember anything from one session to the next. It also seems to have a tendency to break after 8 or 9 questions, which is probably because it's really new and really popular right now. If it breaks, just reload the tab. So if it generates ideas you like, be sure you write those down. If you want it to continue elaborating on certain characters or locations later on, you just have to give it that information back when you get started the next time. If you don't give it a lot of details, you'll start to notice some similarities in its responses. So be sure to feed it ideas from your own imagination, as the more seeds you give it, the better responses you're going to receive. Like this tavern, the Rusty Prince. I'll certainly be playing around with ChatGPT over the next few weeks, and I'll share with you my discoveries and how we can use it in our games. It is not going to replace a game master by any means, at least not yet, but as a companion to help you quickly come up with some names and NPCs and descriptions and backstories and evil schemes and events and conflicts and more, it is going to change the way we run games. And keep in mind, this tool wasn't designed to be a D&D helper. It can write computer programming code and solve problems and design websites and even write poetry about kobolds. I feel like this might be the biggest advancement in technology that has occurred in my lifetime. I urge you to go play around with it and see what you think. Having this technology at your fingertips or in your ear could really change the world and the way we do things. The ethical implications of it are also complex and worth considering. But get used to it. These AIs are going to be a major part of our lives in the very, very near future. I mean, it is here already. And I want to hear what you think. Let me know in the comment section down below. And don't forget to pick up some animated spell cards so that your players will have a fun thing to play with while you're consulting with your new AI pal. Thank you for watching today. I'm going to go back to play with the bot again. I'm still just thunderstruck. Is it just me? I feel like I fell asleep and woke up at least 10 years in the future. Be sure you're subscribed here so I'll keep you updated on all the tech, as well as all the other D&D and Pathfinder reviews that we come up with every week here. You can also find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm like tingly, I'm so excited. But for now, please stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I will see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.